Now, okay, let's talk about the markets. The some companies, some blue chip companies, are already down close to 50%. Um, Dominators, companies that have been around for 50, 60, 100 years, and they're down 30, 40, 50% in what, 3 weeks? Um, what is the point where you start saying, well, okay, for me, this is already an opportunity at this point? Or are you looking for it to bottom, start an uptrend, and only then get back in it? What is your strategy, and how are you looking at one of your favorite companies in the gold sector that I know that you're a big shareholder of? What are you looking at when it comes to gold companies? Because obviously, with oil prices being so low, the mining companies have a big advantage in terms of operations.
Yeah, well, you brought up a lot of interesting points there. How to address them. As far as the market in general is concerned, like the Dow Jones and S&P stocks, uh, look, this isn't just a financial catastrophe that we're looking at, and it's not just because of the virus. That's just the pin. We're looking at an economic catastrophe. So I'm not anxious to get back in the market. Sure, there are bargains now, stocks down 50%, some stocks down 70, 80%, and they'll bounce back. Bargain hunters will come in, drive them up. Well, okay, that's great. But you got to remember that in the unpleasantness of 1929 to 1933, the Dow Jones went down 90%. And at the bottom, the Dow was yielding 12% in dividends, even though dividends had been cut. And
Are we going
the
there?
economy. Well, look, I'm talking about a really serious depression. Now, what the stock market does and what the economy does are related, but they're not the same thing. So, yeah, I think the depression that we've entered, look at it this way, Leora. If the world economy entered a gigantic financial hurricane in 2008 and 2009, we've been in the eye of the hurricane since 2010. It's a giant hurricane. It's a big eye. And now we're entering the trailing edge of the hurricane. And it's going to be much longer lasting and much worse and much different than what we remember from back in 2008 and 2009, which were very unpleasant times financially.
Is cash king right now?
Well, you know, it's complicated because sure, cash is good because that's what you buy things with, okay? Okay, right, it's good. But with these governments creating new money by the boatload, I mean, it's a rapidly depreciating asset. And most of the banks in the world are bankrupt. So if you have a lot of cash in banks, you might wind up like the people in Cyprus did a few years ago, where you get bailed in because the government can't afford to bail out the banks. So this is very complicated. And touching on something else you said, that's why I'm a gold bull at this point, because gold is the only financial asset that's not simultaneously somebody else's liability. So if you want to set aside assets so that you can buy the Dow at the bottom, buy the S&P at the bottom, buy gold, because by the time it comes to buy common stocks, I think your gold is going to be twice as high, and common stocks are going to be half as low.
Let's talk about gold, because in 5 days from this interview, from when we're recording this on the 12th. In 5 days, the Federal Reserve might do something that's unthinkable and cut by another 75 basis points to even 1%. What do you think?
I think these people are borderline criminally insane. They're doing exactly the opposite of what should be done. When you have, look, Europe is in negative interest rates, okay? What does that mean? It means that a lot of companies that should go bankrupt and have their assets redistributed and redeployed can stay alive because interest rates are so low. It means that people that are saving, okay, you produce more than you consume and you save the difference, okay, if you're compensated for it. But if you're penalized for putting money in a bank, you're going to spend it now. And savings is what creates capital, and capital is what creates civilization, quite frankly. It's the only reason we're not beating on earth with a stick. It's because we have capital and we can build things. So this is going to end really badly. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or whatever with the market. It'll reach a bottom, but this is a depression we're looking at. So the market is just part of it.
Okay, as of now, we haven't seen mass layoffs. We haven't seen companies that are sending thousands of employees on leave, on unpaid leave. I'm talking about. We haven't seen the big blowouts of this. Employees have been sent home to work from home by the thousands, but we haven't seen unemployment go to 10% like we did in 2008. Is this happening? Is this coming?
Yeah, I think it is actually. And 10% I think is going to look good. There's all kinds of people that are doing things that are catering to, let's say, an artificially high standard of living. They're going to have to find other goods and services to provide. So yeah, no, we're just at the start of it. We haven't even entered look, the depression has just started. So if we talk a year from now, Lior, about the same subject, I hope I have to eat my words with a fork and spoon. I hope that I'm dead wrong, because I like good times a lot more than I like bad times. And in a depression, there are no real winners. The winner is the person that loses the least, and everybody's standard of living goes down. That's the definition of a depression. It's a period of time when most people's standard of living drops significantly. Now, on the other hand, people will continue producing things. I mean, that's the way we're wired. And they'll continue saving. We're like squirrels. You produce more than you consume, you set it aside. But you put that in the bank and the bank goes bust, what happens to your savings? So this is very serious. And of course, science and technology will keep advancing. So look, in the long run future should be great, okay? In fact, it should be not only better than you can imagine, but probably better than you can imagine. But I'm talking about the near-term future, the next 5 years, certainly.